I, 18 male, have been living with my mom mostly and my dad rarely. My parents are divorced. I've been applying to many jobs and cannot get one, no matter what I do. 2 weeks ago, my parents kicked me out with less than an hour's notice, and neither let me come home, which has made my life incredibly difficult. Now I have to live in my car. My mom said I could live in her house for 2 months, but changed her mind, and my dad doesn't let me live with him and refused to take me in. His new family and wife hate me. I don't know why I got kicked out so quickly. My mom's lease doesn't end for the next 6 months. I struggle to get a job with bad anxiety and other undiagnosed medical conditions. Still, overall, I'm fine, and I'm supposed to get more testing. They think I'm lazy, but it's because I have undiagnosed problems. I've gone to 10 interviews, applied to 50 jobs, and have a decent resume. None have been accepted. Back to the main story. My family's having lunch for Father's Day at my grandma's house on Sunday, and I refuse to go because my parents just kicked me out and criticized everything I do, and I can't even afford food, let alone 30 miles in gas just to get to my grandma's. I feel I may have been an idiot because my parents and grandma claim that my parents care about me, and she said that everyone will miss my presence. But I'm tired of my parents' antics. Am I the idiot for refusing to spend Father's Day with my family after they kicked me out? Not the idiot. Father's Day is the day when you appreciate fathers for their dedication and hard work for your sake. Your family has cut you off and has made not just a day or two, but instead your life harder. Why celebrate the people who don't even care about you? You don't owe them anything. Dad can celebrate with his new family. Ugh. Hugs. Also, this is an illegal eviction. If OP needs someplace to stay, he can go home. The police actually can help with this. Parents have to give 30 days notice to vacate and then would need to do a legal eviction. Honey, does your grandma know? Or would she care that your mom kicked you out and dad refuses to take you in? It might be possible your parents are trying to save face in front of the family. Also, might be worth trying to get some help from grandma if she's not as bad as your parents. Seconding this, your parents have the nerve to kick you out and expect you to visit them and play happy family in front of everyone? OP, it's all but certain that your parents have told your grandmother a very self-serving version of events, with the alternative being that they outright lied. Correct this. Call your grandmother and ask her what she's been told about how and why you left home. My parents and grandma claim that they care about me, and she said that everyone will miss my presence. If that was true, they wouldn't have kicked you out in the first place, and they'd be more concerned about their 18-year-old child living in his car than with whether or not you show up to an event so you can celebrate their great parenting. Tell them to kick rocks. Life is so hard. This is so sad. Yep, this crap happens. My mom kicked my mentally ill brother out at 18 because that's when the child support checks stopped coming in. I guess since OP turned 18 and failed to get a job immediately, Mom Dearest views it as his fault and gets rid of him. OP, can you ask any friends if they know of job opportunities? I genuinely think getting a non-skilled job is harder than a professional one these days. It always irritates me when the media portrays anybody, but teens in particular, as being able to get a job, as though it was the easiest thing in the world. Don't give up, OP. I was kicked out at 16 and had to drop out of school and get a job. As a result, I worked really hard and now make a 6-figure salary and own my own home. Life is good. Hopefully you can crash with other safe family or friends in the meantime. Take it one day at a time, making resilience your superpower. Good luck, OP. Today, my tween son spent the entire day with his best friend, Aaron. I asked my son if he wanted to buzz his hair before his dad picked him up, and I could do it while he and Aaron played video games. When I was done with my son, I asked Aaron if he wanted to even out his bob. His hair was like Kurt Cobain's. He said no because he would get it short like my son's. I said I could do that instead. He said okay. I even let him put in some color. I dropped him off a couple of hours later. Well, his parents called me like they were excited They asked why I cut Aaron's hair. I said, I know, right? You can see his eyes now. They said no, I had no business cutting his hair. I said I was surprised because Aaron is way old enough to groom his hair. They said I should have asked. I said it's hard to have a talk with people who think tween boys should get permission to style their hair. Am I the idiot for giving my son's friend a haircut? Seriously? You didn't even stop to think? You should dish out some tattoos next, though. You are an idiot. You don't take liberties with someone else's kid like that. That's common sense. You're not the kid's parent. You can't make decisions for him. And as a teen, he can't make those decisions without an okay from his parents. Any adult knows that. But OP didn't want the parents to know. The whole comment about, you can see his eyes now, is what tipped me off. OP didn't like the kid's long hair. She cut the hair while the kid was playing video games. Why cut their hair during this time? Because they're engrossed in the game. Easy yes. They're distracted. It was a major style change, not a quick trim. Plus, she didn't style it. She buzzed it off and put color in it. OP just trashed her son's relationship with their best friend. I doubt Aaron will ever be allowed to OP's home again. Poor kids. Your own son didn't groom his own hair. You did it for him. Also, totally irresponsible to put color in a kid's hair. You have no idea if he would be allergic. It's well known that a spot test should be done before coloring hair to ensure no allergic reactions. That was so dumb. How dare you? That's horrendously entitled behavior on your part. My 40s female, ex 40s male, left our daughter Zoe and me very abruptly 6 years ago and moved from the US to another country with his affair partner. His mom, my ex-mother-in-law, was initially sympathetic. Still, when AP got pregnant, she moved to their country to be closer to her grandchild. He and AP later got married and had another baby. It felt like a betrayal from Zoe's POV. She lost her dad and her grandma. She would visit her dad on some school breaks and part of the summer and see her grandma there, and we'd keep in contact via FaceTime, but it was different. However, by that point, I was marrying my second husband, whose family adores Zoe, so that softened the blow. We also moved to a different state. My ex passed away in 2021, which was devastating for all of us. Initially, my mother-in-law stayed on to support her young grandsons and my ex's poor grieving wife. But without my ex there are some immigration and visa issues, so she's choosing to move back to the US. She called me and said she had decided to move to our state to be closer to Zoe, now a tween. She has no other connections here. I said, we'll be happy to invite you to birthdays and maybe get together for Christmas Eve, but our family's busy these days, and Zoe's about to enter her teenage years, so she should consider that. She started talking about wanting to spend a lot more one-on-one time with my daughter. I said that she lost the right to demand one-on-one access years ago, and she should bear in mind that Zoe was ambivalent at best about her, and with her entering her teen years, that probably wasn't going to change. Mother-in-law said she was grieving, and this was her late son's only daughter in her blood. I said she had all but abandoned Zoe just as her son had. She couldn't expect to just pick up where she'd left off, and that Zoe now had step-grandparents who played a part in her life that mother-in-law had effectively left vacant. I said she could move where she wanted, that was her choice, but don't count on this relationship. She was very upset and accused me of trying to erase Zoe's father and paternal family to make room for her stepfather and stepfamily, and she said that I'm alienating Zoe from her. For example, she's upset that I told Zoe in passing that she was having visa issues months ago because it interferes with her "I'm coming back just for you" narrative. And the truth is that I've always made sure that Zoe is nice and civil, but even before my ex died, I haven't done much to encourage Zoe to deepen the relationship with her grandma. It was hard for her to visit her dad and see my ex-mother-in-law being her half-sibling's grandma. She also has complex feelings toward her half-siblings and stepmom. She knows mother-in-law is moving back, but I didn't tell her that mother-in-law wants to move here yet. As a parent, I don't know if it would be healthy for her, especially since I don't think mother-in-law can be trusted to stick around if she gets a better offer. But maybe it wasn't my place to tell her not to move. Not the idiot. Zoe's not an accessory that can be shoved to the back of the dresser and then pulled back out when grandma wants. Had ex-mother-in-law's son not died, she would never have contemplated moving back or making any real effort to be closer to Zoe. Zoe's not her consolation prize now that her son has died, and visa issues mean she can't stay with his second family. That's precisely what I was going to say. If the ex hadn't died, then the mother-in-law wouldn't have made any effort to get close to Zoe, probably ever. She was fine leaving her blood behind when she left and didn't get to pop back into your daughter's life as her consolation prize, no matter how much she's grieving. That's not your daughter's cross to bear. Your boundaries, all for your daughter's sake, are more than reasonable. She's not thinking at all about what's best for your daughter. Also, by doing this, ex-mother-in-law is now abandoning the other kids, exactly the same way she left Zoe. They spent their entire lives up to this point with her around and present, and now all of a sudden, she's ghosting them the same way Zoe got ghosted years ago? Grandma didn't change. My grandfather was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and the doctors told him he had 3 months to live. My parents and grandmother planned a get-together dinner for our family so my grandfather could see everyone for the last time. It took a while to organize, but everyone managed to drop what they were doing and come and see my grandfather. I come from a strictly Christian household who are not very accommodating to change or difference. Lots of my cousins, and me included, identify as the LGBTQ+ community. It makes these family gatherings awkward, as the older members don't care for us as they care for the straight cisgendered kids. Our grandfather was the worst about this. He could never understand why we would do this, and he would consistently get so upset to the point where our family had to ban any of that type of discussion, or else his heart rate would climb high and he'd get really sick. I just got engaged with my partner who's non-binary. Most of my family knows, as I posted it a lot on Facebook, but my grandfather's the only person who doesn't. I was considering not going as this man was not a good person or grandfather to me and many of my family. However, this has really affected my mom, who, while supportive enough to me, doesn't see the issue for me. I still decided to go and see, but I didn't bring my partner to keep it civil. All my cousins went to dinner, and at first everything seemed fine. I stuck to the family that actually cared about me to not cause any drama. However, my homophobic auntie brought up my partner while we were eating. I was calm at first, but then she started showing off the photos we had taken and began talking bad about my relationship and my partner. This started my grandfather questioning me and some of my other uncles and aunties. Before I knew it, I just blew up at them, and I shouted at them about how they mentioned this on purpose and how I was just sick of everyone and their jabs at my life. I was speaking to most people at the table, including my grandfather, who seemed shocked but angry at my outburst. After that, I just left. Now I'm being bombarded with all sorts of family members. My mother was pretty upset with me for, in her words, ruining the dinner, and many of my aunts and uncles shared the same opinion. Though speaking with my other cousins, they said that while it was still tense, dinner carried on, and it seemed my leaving had no effect, but made some of them feel better. Later, I did send a text message to my mother to say I was not participating in any more family functions and would be blocking any extended family that aren't my few cousins and her. She said I was being unreasonable until I said I would not attend my grandfather's funeral. She's completely ignored me since I said that, and now I'm worried I went too far. Am I the idiot for ruining dinner? Should I have not texted my mom that soon after the incident? Should I have not gone at all? Not the idiot. Your stupid aunt ruined the dinner by deliberately bringing up a hot-button topic, knowing it would cause this drama. This was her doing, not yours. Don't blame yourself, and do not let other people blame you for her bad behavior. OP, I hope you tell your family exactly that. The ones who love and accept you will understand and have your back. I may not be LGBTQ+, like many others extending their support, but I am an ally and 100% in your corner. Everyone's the idiot here. My response is a bit different here. Everyone could have done better. The aunt was way out of line. The family that jumped in was out of line. The grandfather is definitely going to a bad place, if that's his priority in his last months of life. The mom is grieving already, but she didn't attack OP, so I'm more inclined to give her a little less hate. But OP, you knew this could or most likely would have happened. If your family's bad enough that you were considering never saying goodbye to this bigot, even if it would make you look better and your mom feel better, you know your family's terrible. You could have been prepared a bit more for guaranteed provocation. When your aunt started, the appropriate answer would have been to call her out on how petty and disgusting she is for doing something she knows makes the grandfather more physically sick when everyone is gathered to say goodbye. Instead of taking the spotlight shined on you as a signal to give a performance, you could have stepped off stage. Your aunt won here. She wanted to hurt you and make you look less than others. However, you need to do a face-to-face with your mother. Whether you attend the funeral or not is up to you, but your mom needs your support, at least emotionally right now. I don't care how old you are or how prepared you think you are. Losing a parent is very difficult. My girlfriend, 21, and I, 21 male, were at my parents' house for dinner. Before dinner, my girlfriend was inside talking to my parents while I was playing football with my brothers, 18, teen, and tween. We got kind of bored, so we decided to play our own game that we made up a few years ago. We live in a 2-story house where the awning juts out into the backyard from the house, so there's a bit of roof jutting outwards. This is important because what we would do is all 4 of us would toss balls up there, wait for them to roll down, and then try to catch them. Of course, we usually ended up jostling a bit, but it's all in good fun. So we're all just having a merry old time when my girlfriend comes out 15 minutes later and starts yelling at all of us, including me, her boyfriend. She's treating us all like children, and I'm annoyed. Like my parents got mad at us for doing that before, but that's okay because they're our parents. But I'm not about to be lectured by some chick. So I got heated and told her to shut up. Now she's saying that I was disrespectful, as if she wasn't the outsider who was trying to boss us around, like she could tell us what to do. I've been noticeably distant after I told her to apologize to my brothers and me for making us feel weird in our own house, like it's our tradition, not hers, so she doesn't get a say. But she said no. Am I the idiot for telling my girlfriend to shut up? I'm not about to be lectured at by some chick. I'm sorry, is she a stranger to you? LOL. That language would be gross anyway. It makes me not trust your version of events at all. Was she really even yelling at you? Or is that your interpretation of some chick that needs to shut up? I hope you enjoy being single. Bruh, I highly doubt your girlfriend wants to date a child, and especially not a snotty brat like you who calls her some chick and the outsider. It's not a tradition, just a dumb game you made with your siblings. By dumb, I mean that tossing the ball onto the roof on purpose can damage the roof, get stuck, etc. And you totally embarrassed yourself while she was there with your parents. If anyone needs to apologize, it's you. But I hope you don't and won't be able to sweet talk her into giving you a chance again. I have a hard time believing you're in your 20s, but if you are, you have some growing up to do. Obviously, you are the idiot,